Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Green and this is another in our series of Algebra 2 lessons. We're going to continue looking at sigma notation and doing some things in that arena. Okay? What we're going to be looking at that's slightly different this time is we're going to look at the geometric series. Now the geometric sequence, if you remember it correctly, you multiplied two things together or you got a common ratio that was between every one of them. And like in this example here, I had to multiply times a negative 3 to get to this one. And I have to multiply times a negative 3 to get to that one. I have to multiply times a negative 3 to get to that one. So all we're doing there is defining a geometric series, right? So a geometric sequence. A geometric series is a series that results from adding nth terms together, okay? So if we're adding n of them together, just like in the arithmetic sequence, it would go on forever and ever and ever. But if we are only wanting to have a certain finite number of them, it's called a partial sum. And just like in the arithmetic sequence, we have a formula for calculating the partial sum of a geometric series with the first term a sub 1 and a common ratio of r. Now the only caveat here is that r cannot be equal to 1. Okay, if r is equal to 1, this doesn't work very well. But if it's not equal to 1, then this formula right here will tell you how to find the nth series, the sum of the nth numbers. Okay, let's work a couple of them just to see what we got. It says for the series going from 400 to 200 to 100. Okay, first of all, what is my common difference? To get from this term to this term, I had to multiply by 1/2. To get from this term to this term, I had to multiply by 1/2. To get from here to here, I had to multiply by 1/2. Okay, that tells me my r is equal to 1/2. Okay? And they're wanting to find the seventh term. How do I know it's the seventh term? Look right here. See what it says right there? S sub 7. They're wanting the first 7 terms here. Okay? So n is going to be equal to 7. Let's go back and look at our formula real quickly. A sub 1 times 1 minus r to the nth. Okay? So what are we going to do here? We're going to say a sub 1, 400, s sub 7, 400 times 1 minus 1/2 to the 7th power divided by 1 minus 1/2. Okay? Now, calculator time. We're not even going to try to do these in our head, are we? Because these are not worth doing in our head, okay? So I want to keep part of this on the screen so that you can see what's going on when I'm doing it, okay? So I'm going to press 400. Can't get to the 400, it's off the screen. So 400, 400 times 1 minus, and I'm just going to say 0.5 raised to the 7th power parentheses divided by 1, divided by, delete, okay, divided by, parenthesis, 1 minus 0.5, close parentheses. Now I had to be real careful there. When you're inside of these areas up here, you have to be careful because, I got a parenthesis in there. That'll give me an error every time, okay? So let's get back to where I need to be. So I'm going to delete that there, go forward, put my parenthesis in here, insert, parenthesis, okay? And then come out here to the end. That looks much better, much more correct. I hit enter and it should calculate it. It gave me 793.75. So my answer here would be 793.75. That's what my sum, partial sum, S sub 7, would be in that situation. Okay? Let's come over here. We know the formula. We've got 3 to the teeth power. Okay? So what's my r? My r in this situation is a 3 because it's going to be increasing by 3 every single time. The n in this situation is going to be 5. Why? Because we're doing, I'm sorry, 1 to 20 be 20. This is 6. There'd be 6 terms here because you've got the 2 and you've got 7. Okay? And that gives you 6 terms. Okay? So what are we actually doing here? We're doing 9 plus 3 to the third plus 3 to the fourth plus 3 to the seventh. Okay? Well, let's go ahead and use the formula now. So we're going to use a sub 1. Well, a sub 1 in this situation is going to be a 9 times 1 minus 3 raised to the 6th power divided by 1 minus 3. Okay? Okay? So let's put this in the calculator and see what we come up with. I'm going to move my calculator over so you can see the numbers there. So I've got 9 times parenthesis 1 minus 3 raised to the 6th power. And I'm going to watch it closely this time and put my parenthesis there like it needs to be. Divided by parenthesis 1 minus 3 parenthesis. And hit enter and I get 3,276. 3,276. Cool? I hope everyone's seeing how I'm using those formulas. I would much rather use the formulas than try to add them up. Okay? Oh. What they're pointing out with this alternative formula is I don't have to know what n is. All I got to know is what the last term was. That would have been helpful in that last time because that last finding out what n was a little bit difficult, right? So in this particular situation, I don't know what n is, right? But I do know the first term is a 2. A sub 1 is equal to 2. And a sub n, whatever that is, we don't know what the n is, the letter value is 0.015625, right? And it looks like my difference here, it looks like it's multiplying times 0.5. Yeah, times 0.5 times 0.5 because we're multiplying times 1/2. So let's go back and look at that alternate formula one more time. It was a sub 1 minus a sub n times r divided by 1 minus r. Okay? So let's try that over here. See if what we get. So we need to use a sub 1, which is a 2, minus a sub n, which is 0.015625 times r, which is 0.5, divided by, oops, you know what? I'm going to have problems with that. Let's try this again. Parenthesis 2 minus 0.015625 times 0.5 parentheses. I need to put that numerator in parentheses because it's a minus sign there, and I don't want it messing up and just dividing the last number by this, okay? Divided by 1 minus 0.5. And what do I get when I do that? I get 3.98 43575. Whoops, not going to remember all that. 3.98. 3.98. 4375. Okay? So, the way I did that, I didn't have to know what the n was. I didn't know how many terms it had to be. I did have to know the first number, the last number, and then I used a sub 1 minus a sub n times r divided by 1 minus r. Now, I put both of these in parentheses when I'm doing them on my calculator. If I don't do that, if I don't put them in parentheses, sometimes it'll divide by the wrong, it'll divide just this last one by this number, and that's not going to give you the right answer. Okay? So that's the caution. You got to be smarter than the calculator sometimes, right? Okay. I think that's all we're going to do for today. We will do a few more lessons on sigma notations and a few more things with these series, and then we'll be on to something new. If you have any problems after you've worked the problems in the book, let me know. Look forward to hearing from you. Bye.